Try and get all the links right. Yeah, right. Facebook special stage.
Go down in that ditch.
Walk up to the toilet. You try to go to the toilet. The toilet Angelique's got that. Well, that's in the again.
Go up to the toilet, Thomas. It's not far, but just watch the road when you cross the road. Take your phone. Huh? Take your phone. Don't get.
You have to go up that way.
Go up to where the
Good morning, everybody.
It's
It's a very warm morning. Very warm welcome to Kerry Forest, situated right on the English-Welsh border. You're joining us here on our live stream for the Pirelli Welsh Rally Championship in association with Withams, Hockley Motorsport on the pacenode.co.uk, Pirelli, of course, Motorsport UK, Ashmore's and Restruct. So a big thank you to the sponsors for allowing us to come out and bring you this live stream. My name's Phil Bramhill. I've got cameraman Jamie with me today. We are located in stage 2 of the rally today. We've just seen the zero car go past, and we're now waiting for our first competitor on the road, who should be joining us any moment now. So enjoy the vistas. If Jamie will just pan the camera around, you can have a little look at what we've got in front of us. Very fast little section of stage. You break out of the trees into this stunning little open section here, which we've already seen is very, very dusty. So the wind has dropped when we got here this morning. First thing, there was a little bit of a breeze in the air, and the dust was clearing quite quick. But it's going to give us some fun. This is the dust. So we're about a mile and a half, I would say, into the stage, junction 5. Lots of spectators here with us today, which is great to see. Come out in the hundreds and thousands to enjoy a bit of rallying in the sunshine. The stage starts on a rough track, which heads uphill towards a little switching surface from the gravel roads that we start on onto a tarmac road, which runs through the forest here. It's been closed off to allow the rally to gain a little bit of extra mileage, which is lovely. First time back in this forest for a long time as well, which is it's great to see. New forest, I say new, it's new to me, but the return of forests to championships around the UK, it seems to be happening quite a bit at the minute, so that's fantastic. They then thread their way through the gravel and through the trees, away from us here, and back towards another ribbon of tarmac, which creeps up on them on a 90 left, and then after that it gets tricky, back into a forest section, and you've got some very, very unused roads towards the back of this stage. They're actually covered in grass at the minute. It won't take long for the competitors to churn the grass away, but opening run, let's say, or first 50 cars at least, will find that very slippery down there. Thankfully it's not wet, so it should be okay fun. But yeah, it's nice to be back in a different forest. So welcome along to everyone who's watching. We're just waiting on the first car now. I'll flick up the live stream and see how we're getting on. Try and do our best to say hello to as many people as possible today. So if you are watching, please share us far and wide. Dean Roskell's joining us again, as always. Appreciate all the effort you've gone to this year, Dean, watching us. Well, the whole Roskell family. We had some fantastic live streams this year with the Roskell family watching, especially on the Pro Tire Championship, which we've been covering as well. Concluded last weekend on Rally Bay, Ceredigion. Unfortunately, it didn't go in Neil's favour, but still, fantastic event. Really, really much loved event, and a great championship that we enjoyed covering. So, yeah, great to see those guys joining us again. Watching from a damp Anglesey Damp Anglesey? It can't be damp in Anglesey, surely. It's absolutely cracking the flags here, blazing hot. And it's only going to get warmer. So, let's quickly share the link. Neil Matthews is watching again. Welcome along, Neil. Thanks for joining us. Tony Standish from Liverpool, thank you. We have greetings from Gran Canaria. So, let's see where everyone's watching from today. Let us know where you are in the world. It's always nice to see people's comments and where people are watching from. We have lots of exotic locations. Balrollins in Nottingham, that's one of my favourite exotic locations around the world. Sambo Collis is watching. Are you sure you should be watching, Sambo? Nothing else on this weekend? Thank you very much, Sambo. Obviously rallying comes first, I understand. Appreciate you tuning in. Neil's watching from bed as usual. Thanks, Neil. To be fair, there's not many times I can say this, but I think I'm better off here today with the weather, with what we've got here. I think we've got the best of the conditions. So, yeah, I'd rather be here than in bed. It's normally the way round. I'd rather be back in bed when it's tipping it down with rain, but today we're lucky. So, who else have we got with us? John Kendall's watching from Cumbria. Welcome along, John. Peter Fowle from Somerset on the sofa. We've got Christoph Markoki from Poland. Rory Jones in Iceland. Is that the country or the supermarket, Rory? You have to be a bit more specific with that one. Donald Murray's watching from Inverness. Naomi Wilding is watching. She's on her way up to Hay Park to watch. Well done, getting out there in the forest. You'll have a good day in Hay Park today. It's a forest that's synonymous with this event. Stalwart of the Woodpecker is Hay Park. Been in there a few times over the years. I remember watching Andy Burton's Peugeot through Hay Park when I first sort of getting out rallying on my own. It was quite a sight to see. Steve Davies, Team Ginger watching from behind you. We're behind you. It's worrying. See, we are live, I promise. It's not pre-recorded. We do film at Anglesey, yes. We do. We go everywhere. Yes, yeah, you were in front of me, weren't you? On the back straight.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, I was there, yeah. Sorry about that. Yes, I was doing the photos as well that weekend, so I did photos. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. Is there an easy exit plan here? We need to get out of here if we get chased down. So we're just waiting on first car. It won't be far off now. We've had all the safety cars through. So we're just waiting on our first competitor. Difficult to give you any results or anything from the first stage. I can tell you as much as we have had around about 45 cars through that first stage. Quickest car through so far is looking like Tony Thompson in car 153, setting a time of 5:55. Let's have a little look. So yeah, we run. Someone was asking about the running order. We run two-wheel drives in reverse. So we'll start with the slower cars coming through first, all the way up to the quickest cars, which will be the top end of the historic class, the likes of Roger Chilman. They will be sort of last of our two-wheel drives through. And then what we'll do is we'll cut the stream. We'll have a very short break, and then we will go live again a minute or two later, just enough time for you to get the kettle on, and then we'll go live again with the four-wheel drives, and they will run cars one from quickest to sort of slowest, starting at car one. So we've got a bumper day for you. If you happen to have been up nice and early this morning, you'll have seen the other live stream coming in from stage one with Paul on the special stage Facebook page, so you'll be able to watch that as well. Two streams almost simultaneous today. We have 4 stages to bring you. I'll be here with you guys in stage 2 and 5, and then Paul will bring you more action. If you want to see your loved ones or your team or just in general the rallying, then you'll be able to join Paul in stage 1 and 4 just before us, about an hour before us this afternoon as well. So I will I think I could hear cars coming through then, but I'm just going to quickly check our entry list, and I can give you a little insight into what we've got and what we're expecting. This is where I have to multitask now, and I have to use my phone and microphone and split screens and you name it. It's not as easy as it looks. Mr. Woodford makes it look very easy. So, we are expecting Richard Stewartson in car 206 to come through first. Stu Jones alongside. Local boys, Ludlow Castle Motor Club. Followed by Andrew Watson with Emma Cooper. And they are in a Mini Cooper, if that was planned or not. Car 204, Clive Price and Robbie Sanford in the BMW. Giles Armitage next up with Josh Rhodes in the 205 GTI, and then we're looking for Daryl Denning and Julia Perry in the Volvo 244. Saw that car being prepped. I can't wait to see that. Nice to see a Volvo through the forests. Hopefully, with a bit of sideways action from them. So a nice variety on the entry list. Looking forward to seeing the variety of cars that we've got coming through. Corsas, Micras, Fiestas. Plenty of Escorts. A few BMWs to look in there as well. Novas. G3 Escort. Sunbeam VXR. Here we go. Sure enough, car 206, which is ironically the Peugeot 106 of Richard Stewartson and Stu Jones, 1400 class car. Opening proceedings here in Kerry. It's nice to see the breeze has just picked up a little bit as well, just clearing that dust away a little bit quicker than we were expecting. So that's nice. It was hanging around a lot after the zero car, so we've been lucky with that. Carry that on now for the rest of the day. That'll be good. And it's blowing in the right direction as well, which is great. All the spectators will be able to go home tonight and not need to de-dust when they walk through the door. Next up, Mini Cooper. Andrew Watson from Beverley. Emma Cooper alongside, 60 in Worcester. Member in the 1600 B12 class Mini Cooper. Singing along nicely. Trying to juggle various bits and bobs on my phone to try and bring you as much information as possible. Some information about some of the crews. To cross-reference the numbers. So next up we're looking for Clive Price, Robbie Sanford, car 204. You just hear them in the distance. Well, it's Giles Armitage and Josh Rhodes that come into view next. So we've got a BMW missing. 1.9 Rally First 2 litre class car. Going well in that little 205. Always good to see a 205 out. It's one of them cars, they're getting more and more sought after, aren't they? So if you've got a 205 GTI lying around somewhere, hang on to that. Be a millionaire one day. Okay, let's have a little look at the stream and see how things are going. Yeah, Neil Matthews, sorry, I don't know if you heard me earlier just say that it was two-wheel drives in reverse order and then four-wheel drives in the correct order with a small break in between, where we'll just drop the stream out and then reset things, make sure we're all alright before going back to it again. So here we go. Here's the Volvo. If ever a car looked a handful. Daryl Denning and Julia Perry in the Volvo 244. 2.3 litre. A little bit of information for you about this crew. Julia very kindly dropped me a message this morning on the way to the stages to let them know what was going on with that car. So Daniel is a garage owner and Julia's an accountant. Daryl coming from Wellington down in the southwest. And Julia, only Shrewsbury, so not too far away. Car was originally built by Martin Roper, who competed in 1997 Woodpecker, and then driver purchased the car off him about 4 years later, and has had a full rebuild. New roll cage fitted to it to enable it to go stage rallying, and Julia says 2022 she was the Targa Rally Championship 10th overall and first in class co-driver, so a little bit of experience in there. She did do this event last year, retired with radiator damage. As we see the first of our escorts through, car 201, Alan Young and Ashley Young, Matlock Motor Club crew in their H1/2 category escort Mark II, sponsored by Fortis Island, so crew may have come over, well, Matlock Motor Club, so I was wondering if they were from Ireland there, but Matlock's definitely not Ireland. Now from Derbyshire. So we're about to break into our 200s now. So next car through, 198 Daniel Shalev and Shannon Turnbull. If I sound a bit ropey today, by the way, I can only apologise. I've been suffering with a cold all week, and it's just about cleared up. So I think obviously the best thing for it would be to come and stand in a dusty forest, and that'll really sort my cough and my sore throat out. That will. So I'm going to apologise in advance. If you hear me coughing and spluttering, you don't need to send an ambulance. I'm just trying to clear my throat so I can talk to you guys. Need to give a shout out to some friends of ours, the Motorist up in Leeds. It's a motoring venue for coffees and cars and meetups. Fantastic venue based in Leeds. They are welcoming on our feed today and streaming it live in their premises for everyone who's up at the Motorist to have a look at and watch. Nicely done. That was car 198 dancing the little Fiesta through. Sounds on song, doesn't it? Lovely engine note to that car. You can just see it's a tricky little section, really. It doesn't look much, and when we got here to set up, we thought this looks a nice open place to get the microphone. Beep 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 beep. There's Ben Gilbert mentioning me in a comment. Thanks, Ben. Beep 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 beeping down the microphone. So I'm trying to plug my phone in. Yeah, but it's a tricky little section, really. When you look at it, it doesn't look a great deal, but this could be some fun here today. So who else are we welcoming along? Neil McKinnon. Thank you, Neil, for joining us. My guess is he's up on the Isle of Mull. Oh, phone. Calm down. Proper car. Car 199. Not on my entry list. Not on my entry list. That's unusual. But a Mini nonetheless. Nice to see. So yeah, Neil McKinnon. Like I say, more than likely upon Mull. Pleasure to meet Neil a few years back when I was upon the Mull Rally doing some work up there. Ben Lawrence is watching, Chris Spilstead is watching, Dawn Roskell's watching, more of the Roskell family. We just need Neil now. Where's Neil? He's still in bed. There was our missing Clive Price and Robbie Sanford in that BMW. Car 204, it's running slightly out of order, no dramas. May have just dropped a little bit of time on the road section, making sure things are okay. You're allowed a little bit of lateness, so no issues at all. Good to see them. Going nicely. Those BMWs have always got a lovely engine note to them, haven't they? Purring along. Malcolm Williams is watching in New Zealand. Let's go, Roger C. So, Roger Chilman fan, he'll be along in the not too distant future. Probably about a 45-minute wait or so till we get to Roger, is my guess. Hard charging Mini. There's a few cars missing off my interest. What's going on here? Let me figure out why my interest isn't up to date. See if we can find a more up to date one. Start list, so we'll go with that. There we go, yeah, Terry Creek. Cardo short. Oh, that's wide. Steady on. Maybe get in. Taking the scenic approach to this this bend in front of us here. Where he was going then. If you do happen to run wide into the ditch, you're probably going to be all right. To be fair, there's quite a big ditch on the outside of this bend, but it's quite a shallow ditch as well. So if you get in it, it's nice and dry. There's nothing in there. You'll be probably okay as long as it's not going in there too quick. You should be able to drag the car back out again. It's probably fairly forgiving at this time of year. But, I wouldn't advise it if anyone's listening from the start line. Don't use that as an extra bit of road. I'd stick to the main surface if you can. But yeah, I think if you do drop in there, you might get away with that. You'll be all right.
There's our Phil said.
Yeah, there's a disclaimer there. Please don't use that against me if you do happen to end up in this ditch. So we are now turning our attention to Trevor and Chris Ridge in their Ford Fiesta. They should be through next car 193. Sponsored by number 46 Cafe, Restaurant and Bar in Church Stretton. We passed that this morning. In the B10 class. Should be our next competitor through. Healthy entry list this morning from the two-wheel drive gang. The sound on song anyway. Coming into view now. It's not the Fiesta. Is in fact Ben Davies, Alan Richards and their Mark II Ford Escort running in the H34 class, car 191, Wales Motorsport and 57 tyres. Sponsored Ford Escort. Trying hard, going well. So hopefully we've still got Trevor and Chris. I've seen Chris for a few years now. Local boys. Roger Priestnell's watching, Tim Cairns is watching, Malcolm Proudlock is watching. Welcome along everybody. Please share the link with everyone you know. Put it out on the socials and let everyone know what you're doing today. Tuning into Special Stage and the Pirelli Welsh Rally Championship here from Stage 2 in Kerry Forest. With myself, Phil Bramhill, you've got cameraman Jamie on camera duties today. There goes Team Ridge. Just hear the engine note as it disappears out a short, long, straight piece of forest after this. A little kink in the bottom, then it's a fast, straight section all the way to the tarmac. Hard braking on the gravel before chucking it left at the at the bail around the bail onto the tarmac. Tricky where it'll be dragging all the gravel onto that public road. So as more and more cars get through, it'll be more and more interesting to see. Fantastic sight of car 189, Charles Hopkins, Alan Jones in their Ford Escort RS 1800, dancing through the stage. I don't think it's a more iconic shot of an Escort coming on a corner like that with all the dust kicking up behind. And then just as they flick the car back for the little right-hander here in front of us, there's a little crest and it just pops the front wheels, well, certainly the inside wheel off the ground. Any photographers wanting a shot of the wheel in the air, this is your shot. Oh, to have my still camera taking photographs. I'd struggle with the microphone, though, wouldn't I? Next up, Mark 1 Escort. It's got to be Jeremy Wells. Martin Saunders guiding Jeremy through the forest this weekend. Down the entry list. So we've got about an hour and 20 minutes of two-wheel drives. We'll just have a little see where things are, how things pan out, and then we'll bring you the four-wheel drives, like I say, in the correct running order. Unfortunately, we've lost Matt Hurst and Declan Deere. They didn't make it to the start. They having to pull the entry yesterday. Peugeot 206 kit car, wide arch kit car of Damien Thomas and Fraser Moss. That looked fantastic coming through there then, didn't it? What a great car. Looked and sounded great. Running in the B10 class. Getting on, so time still coming from the first stage of the day. Dylan Fowler Bishop has now gone fastest, car 158.
I'll tell you who that is in a minute.
Tony Thompson, and then Steve Corky Ward. Just remember, we've only had the first sort of 30-40 cars through that stage, so plenty more to come. That was car 184, Will Armitage, Jeremy Pole in the Peugeot 306 S16. Now I've just realised that Peugeot 306 is very similar in colour to Giles's 205 GTI. Now, I'm not a betting man, but I reckon Giles Armitage and Will Armitage may be some sort of relation because they've got very similar looking cars. Have I just worked something out? Has something just clicked? Let me know. Is any of the Armitage family watching? Are they related, or is it just pure coincidence that there's two Armitages and two Peugeots in the same colour? Are we struggling for sound, guys? Let me know. Can you hear the microphone okay? Just do some fault finding. Bear with me, guys. Just
Just 1 second.
Have a little play with the microphone lead, see what we can do. Beautifully done. Looking good. John Brazier, Damien Bird. Car 181. Have a little look at the loud and proud. Okay.
How's that?
A couple of pauses while I try and figure out if the microphone is working properly. Yeah, looks well, sounds better, I think. So I think we may have fixed that little gremlin. I don't like having the sound on the phone while I'm talking because all I can hear is myself then, and it's very off-putting. So I'll turn the volume off, and then I can't hear if there's any problems. So next up, Luke Watts, Matt Rogers, MG ZR, 1400 class car, running car 180 today. Yeah, looks okay. I think it's all good now. Just noisy cars in the background. Is that a good thing? I'm hoping that's a good thing. Dean, we want noisy cars, don't we? We don't want too much of my voice. A little bit of my voice, and I try and stop talking if I can when the cars come. I don't want to cover the noise of these glorious engines singing their way through the forests. Not with my drivel, anyway. Calvin Evans, Thomas Wynne Shakespeare in their little 1400 Micra. Someone's had their porridge this morning for breakfast. Great to see. Kelvin pushing hard this morning. Setting some giant killing times, no doubt, in that little 1400 Micra. Let's have a little look at a few more bits and bobs on the phone. Let's see if I can find out where our Welsh Championship contingents are. Looking good. Just bobbing that inside front wheel up and down in that stunning Mark 1 Escort. John Williams, Gethin Solis, the Escort Mexico. Great to see so many people out today. More and more people arriving all the time, which is good. Cracking weather's brought everybody out. It's good to see. And the dust is clearing nicely for us as well, which is good. I was slightly concerned before when we had the zero car through, and we must have been waiting for 2 or 3 minutes, and we still couldn't see the road. So it's nice that the breeze has picked up. Neil Matthews intermittently goes just audible. Okay. I'm hoping things have improved now. I'm hoping it's back and is. I think it's okay now by the sounds of it. The Whittam Group have joined us. Thank you guys. Nice banner, thank you. Well, you know, we try our best. Without you guys helping fund these these live streams, then you know, we wouldn't be able to bring all this footage. So it's a pleasure. We try our best to please, and that was Wales Motorsports, Ron Morgan, Sean Jones in their Mark II, dancing their way through as well. The angles on these Escorts are just getting slightly more, what do you say, acute. Back ends appearing in shot more so than the front, which is always nice to see. Under control and sideways, always nice. It's great, isn't it? Between rally cars, it's so peaceful, and then the rally cars break the peace and quiet, and it goes from being lovely and peaceful to lovely and noisy. It's great. Nothing better. Pete Hinton, Lewis Sim in their Ford Escort, taking a nice tight line through there. It's quite a ditch on the inside of the first corner, which is a definite help to these guys. I went up there before to put the banner up, and there's plenty of road to cut up there. There's nothing in that ditch, so you could use that to your advantage. Hook into that ditch, and you'll see some of the later runners, the four-wheel drives, I imagine, will be using those ditches to their advantage. But you need to be nice and tidy around this next one, because there's a little drop off and a lip on the inside of it as well, which could just put the car up on 2 or 3 wheels. So you need to be nice and tidy through the right-hander. Alan Ricks, Abby Haycock. He doesn't sound it, but that's only a 1400 engine in that Mark II. Rick's Engineering sponsored car. The Ricks family have been involved in campaigning Escorts for many years now. And Aaron going well. So a warm welcome to Duncan Jordan, watching from Perth in Western Australia. Steve Wassell, very best of luck to Phil and Mick Squires from us Bristol lads. Thank you for supporting the Squires boys, my local team. Only round the corner from me, up in Knipersley and Biddulph. .175, Steve Chaplin, Richard Souter, not quite on song. Escort strolling along there. Needs to clear its throat. A little bit like me, actually. So we're expecting to see the iconic Peugeot 306 of Alan Dubois and Pete Littlefield next. The car's been campaigned for years and years now on these forest events. White with the orange or red wheels. Yeah, white, orange and red wheels, I think it is. Any time now, is it? No, it's an over. Just to make me look a fool. Chris Greenall, James Greenall in the 1400 Nova. Going well. You can see the pace is increasing with every passing car. So let us know what you're up to today, guys. Other than watching Special Stage, I want to know where you're watching. What are you doing today? You watching whilst mowing the lawn? Doing the dishes, preparing dinner? There's a crew that know how to ditch hook. We've just been talking about using the ditch to your advantage, and Mark Tugwell and Deborah Tugwell in their Mark 1 certainly did that. Plenty of room on the inside to get those inside wheels in there and just help drag the car around, keep the speed up. The poor Whittam sign's having a bit of a hammer into. Look at all the dust on it now. They'll be charging me laundry bills at this rate. Thought we'd done a good job putting it there, Jay, but we'll be in trouble. But thank you very much to all our sponsors. We can see Whittam and Pirelli there. We've also got Hockley Motorsport on the pace note. Pirelli, Motorsport UK. Ashmore's and Restruct. Like I say, a lot of effort goes into to promoting these events, and without the sponsors, it's a problem. So, massive thank you. Big hello to Jamie Blandford. He's along this morning watching. Jamie, the let's say the photography arm of British Rally Media. Got some cracking photos last weekend down on Rally Ceredigion. Always a pleasure to see you boys. Marcus Mzungo. Never fails, never fails. A banana would sort out that throat, Phil. I don't know what to say to that other than to report the comment. I'm not being lured into anything that you say, Marcus. Commentary volume keeps dropping out quite low, Phil. Thank you, Ben. I didn't see all these posts before. My phone was way behind on time. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Hopefully it's better now. Hopefully we've managed to fix that little gremlin and we're all looking good. Neil Matthews Persia with Damien Thomas looks the nuts. Another great car from Neil Weaver. Wish I was out in the Proton. We wish you were out in the Proton as well, Neil. Come on, get this Proton back out on the stages. I always love having a chat with you, I must admit, but you know, I want to see you out here in this Proton. I want to see the Proton back on the stages where it belongs. It's been far too long since I saw that car out. What else have we got going on? Gav Brown commenting, thank you very much. Fitting the kitchen. That's what Marcus is doing, fitting the kitchen. Watching rally cars and fitting a kitchen. I can't think of anything more dangerous in the world than you fitting a kitchen. But thank you for joining us. Who would have thought all them years ago when we were messing about on the hillsides in Wales that I'd end up presenting and commentating on rallying, eh? Thank you for joining, Marcus. Always a pleasure to talk to you. We'll have to have a catch-up soon. Paul Collect is watching down in sunny South Wales. Kevin Massey is watching from Aberdeenshire in the sun. It's just about wall-to-wall sunshine, I think, across the UK. Oh, the only place that didn't sound sunny was Anglesey this morning. So that's not unusual for Anglesey, to be fair. Whee! Yeah, he's still going it. That's well done. Well collected. Martin Walters, Marie Fletcher in their Honda Civic. I think they probably did about an extra 4 miles to everybody else there through that bend, but well held on to. It's a quick approach into this little section, and it's very, very bumpy on the way into here as well. Quite deceptive, really, to be fair. The DVD and the notes do state it is a bumpy little section of stage, so it might just be that under braking coming into this section here, it's just a little bit off-putting as you're braking, but well held, got away with it. Looked good on camera anyway, so top marks. We saw Tim Phelps and Elwyn Manuel through earlier as well in their Britpart sponsored Ford Escort. One of the Welsh Championship Cruise. Side lock. David Jones, Glyn Price in their E30 BMW. Always having fun, always sideways in that car. Great to see. Ian Cowburn's watching from Bradford. Jason Taylor is sat in a paddling pool watching. We need to bring a paddling pool. Is anybody near Kerry at the minute that could just possibly pop down with a paddling pool? And we could just chill in. That'd be great. We're very jealous, Jason. Thank you for tuning in and watching. If you leave the paddling part of that out, it sounds much more exotic. Just next time, just tell us you're at a pool. It sounds, we don't need it to be a paddling pool, do we? Leave it to everyone's imagination. It could be an Olympic swimming pool. It wouldn't matter then. But thank you for joining us. Max Keithley, great way to start the day in Lorain, Ohio, watching. Thank you, Max. Welcome along. The beautiful sight and sound of a Tuthill Porsche. On the ragged edge, Richard Axel and Alan Harriman in their 911, running in the D5 class. Always fantastic to see them Porsches out, isn't it? So, yeah. Thank you for bringing it along. Stephen Wilkinson, is that the running order system that is due to change in a month or two? Good question. Good question. I think, I must admit, I haven't read too much up about this. I've seen bits and bobs of it. And if I say something, I might get corrected and upset some people. So I'm just not going to comment because I believe it's going to go to four-wheel drive first. But yeah, it's if that is the case, then things will change over the next month or so for these guys. So we'll have to see how that unfolds. Watching from sunny Suffolk. Good luck to everybody. Thanks, Mick Johnson. Watching from Nelson Bay in New South Wales. Watching the Rugby League finals on the telly and the Woodpecker. Thanks, Dave. Got a few people watching from Australia, actually. More from New South Wales. You're not neighbours, are you, by any chance? Watching from Wagga Wagga, New South Wales, Australia. Roger McMurray. What time is it over in New South Wales, guys? Must be late at night, Saturday night now. Must be, if the rugby's on over there as well. I imagine it's late evening, is my guess. Wellington, New Zealand, Dave Wiles. That's, I was going to say similar part of the world. It's not really, is it? Miles and miles away. It feels like you're both next door neighbours, but far, far apart. Harrison co-sponsored Cinch Mark 1 Escort of Philip Harris and Derek Davies. Having a good run so far. Next up, we turn our attentions to a Vauxhall Astra. It's the rear-wheel drive car of Cyril Crook and Jack Morris. Now, Jack very kindly sent me some information through about this crew. So I'm going to say all this now. I'm going to read it out, and then I'm going to be corrected when the car doesn't come through. The car's a rear-wheel drive converted Vauxhall Astra using a red-top engine and dog box. Car is a mix of a few different cars, with bits of Sierra Cosworth front brakes, Porsche brakes and front suspension bits, and also parts from an Opel Manta. Here we go. Cyril's been competing since the 90s in road rallying in a Sunbeam. There we go, going well. Before moving to the Astra in 2002, and has now done 44 rallies in the car. Jack started co-driving in 2021 and has since competed on 33 events in just those 2 years. We have to bear in mind, just after COVID, wasn't it? So getting things back up and running, yeah, he's done well to get that many events in. Most of those events being the BTRDA and Welsh Rally Championship rounds, as which this is one of those. And he's also been in a Mini Cooper and a Vauxhall Corsa. This is the first rally together for Cyril and Jack. Expect us to most likely arrive in shot sideways. They weren't far off, actually, were they? Sideways coming into view, just about. Yeah, we'll give them that. Yeah, sticking to their word. Well done, boys. Speaking of entering the shop sideways, that's how it's done. Car 161. Bob Gibbons, John Harris in their RS 1600 Mark 1 Escort. Bob's had a variety of cars over the years. Nice to see him out in a Mark 1. Always pedals the car really fast as well. Always trying hard is Bob. Hear the distant call of a buzzard somewhere above us. I told you it was a forgiving ditch. There we go, just to prove it. I thought when they came in, I could hear them coming into shot, and I was thinking, this is quick, this is quick. Fair play. Chris Bush and Rob Bryn Chicken Jones. 1400 powered Corsa. I think it's probably fair to say got away with that one. Our forgiving ditch has been very forgiving there. Yep, just a little too quick into it, and you can see on the inside of this right hander, like I was saying, if you cut this right hander or stay right in, there's a little log and a little bump on the inside of there, and it's easy to just, it's like some hard soil almost, and it would just lift the car and unsettle it, and as you saw, throw the car out wide towards the ditch where it nearly swallowed it up. But anyway, got away with it. Car 158 then. Now we can all calm down and resettle. Dylan Fowler Bishop in the Restruct sponsored Nissan Micra, JFB Motorsport, T2 Fabrications, Nigel Ferguson Fabrications, and PRC Plant Cleaning sponsors as well. He's got plenty of sponsors on board. Dylan Fowler Bishop has, with Dan Evans. Could do sharing some of them out with other people, I think. Wow, he's done well with himself there. Excellent to see. Nice to see backing as well of a talented young driver like that. No doubt there'll be some comments on the live stream after we've just witnessed those heroics, so I'll quickly look down the list. Watching from the sunny Isle of Man, Alan Moore is watching WRC Greece, and also our live stream here, the Pirelli Welsh Championship stream from Stage 2 at Kerry. Excuse me, I did warn you we're going to be experiencing some coughing and sniffling today, I'm afraid. Try my very best. Car 159. Who doesn't love a wide arch Micra? Edward James, Charlie Mason in the Micra kit car. EJM preparation built car. Doing really well this morning. Who else have we got? Let's have a look down here. Steam's up watching again. Thank you from Newbury. Clive Sisson's watching from Spain. We spoke to Rory earlier. Watching from the service area, waiting for car 171, Chris Greenall to return. Alan, you'll be pleased to know he's got past us. No dramas, the little Nova was going well. Quick flick down. Sunny North Wales, Clochainog Forest territory. There's some classic Welsh rallying roads and forest tracks. Another of the Micras, car 156. This time Ashley Francis Adams and Tudor Jenkins in their non-wide arched version. Flick to the live stream and catch up and see where we're getting. Oh heck, someone's mentioned the rugby. Unfortunately for a lot of people, or thankfully for a lot of people, I don't follow rugby. I don't even understand the rules of it. So yeah, it's not one for me, rugby. I don't That's probably going to cause some issues as well, just me saying that. But yeah, it's just a sport I've never got my head around. .155, Steve Corky Ward with the legend that is Mr. Philip Sandham alongside RS 1800 G2 category car. Phil has been one of our guest pundits on the microphone this year on the Pro Tire Championship, and what a splendid chap he is. Did a cracking job on the Argyle stages with the special stage team up there in all sorts of weather conditions, and eaten alive by midges and you name it. He soldiered on through it and did a cracking job. So thank you very much to Phil for that. Great to see him back out again in the car, enjoying himself. I think he's part of the furniture inside a Mark II Escort is Mr. Sandham, but going well anyway. Next up, Freddie Brick, Toby Brick. Watch this one, Jay. I've been learning from Dave, so that makes you take a step back. So that was Freddie and Toby Brick in their Corsa 1400. Nice and tidy does it.
No, don't touch me. Don't come up here.
So we are around about halfway through our two-wheel drive category here. Plenty more cars to come, and they're only getting faster as well, which is promising. Interesting to see some of these lines now. You can see that inside of that top bend just being eaten away as more and more people carry the speed through it. Cobots Online sponsored Escort Mark II of Tony Thompson and Matt Thompson. Ring in the D5 class. Lovely colour scheme on that car, wasn't it? Nice to see. Unfortunately, I've got nothing on this entry list to tell me whether they're Welsh Championship entered or not. Let me see if I can get something sorted on that one. Mike Reed, John Millington in the Reed Group sponsored Mark II there. Nice and tidy from the boys. Okay, apologies, just sending a quick message to our Pirelli Welsh Championship coordinator, Dave Ellison. Working extremely hard back at Rally HQ, making sure everything championship-wise is running to plan, and I'm just giving him a bit extra work to do. So thank you for everything you do for the championship, Dave, and his trusty team of loyal minions. Back at Rally HQ, that was Alex Cannon and Alan Carfrey in their Fiesta Rally 2. Fiesta R2. I see R2 and I think it's Rally 2. I can't say that anymore, can I now? There is a Rally 2. Two very different vehicles. Maybe one day he wishes it isn't a Rally 2. But yeah, Alex and Alan in their Rally World Service Sport sponsored car. Next competitor, sounding quick, always quick. It's the always recognisable Lewis Hooper and Rhys Edwards in their Micra. Lewis running in the 1400 S class, moved up from rally first. I feel like they've missed a trick here. We could do with like a bar and a burger van and toilets would be a good option, wouldn't it? Just sat there.
That would be good.
The ideal, wouldn't it?
Ice cream van.
And an ice cream van as well, yeah, and a pool. And yeah. So Dave, if you're listening, next season, next year we need all that, please, at the stage side. As if you've not got nothing on at the minute. 149 then. Howell Davies, Ian Jones in their Mark II Escort. Just swatting away a bee as it was about to land on my nose. It's a good job there's a bit of a breeze, isn't there, now? Because if there hadn't been, whew, I mean, it's baking hot as it is, but it's a good job there's a bit of a breeze. I think it'd feel a lot hotter if there wasn't. If you're coming out to spectate on the stages today, please make sure you bring plenty of sun cream. Whee, fast in. Keep it lit. Into the ditch and over and just got away with it. It's not this ditch that's going to cause the problem. It's the other side of the road. If anything's going to happen, it's going to be the other side of the road as you sort of shoot back out of this ditch. Another crew to get away with it there. You can see, you can just see them trying, can't you, as they come into view at the top. And plenty of right foot as they come into view backwards, and they carry the speed through, and all of a sudden this bends on them before they know it. Slightly off camber, a little bit of a dip and a crest, and it's just enough to throw the car offline and then into this ditch. And you keep your foot in, you'll get back out of it, but then you've got the risk of shooting across the road. There's a nasty stack of logs I've just noticed on the other side of the road as well, which as you get back out of this ditch, you'll be heading towards that, so one to watch that. Hopefully nobody hits them. (146) Jason Gardner, Kevin Lane in their 1800 Escort. It was Gary Smith and Clive Jones just before them that was giving everybody a scare, including themselves. See if we've got any times through for this stage. Let our next competitor through. That was Gary Smith and Clive Jones. It wasn't. It must have been David Dobson then. I missed the number because I was too busy watching the steering wheel inside the car go from side to side. So it must have been David Dobson and Brian Hodgson that gave us a fright. And that was Gary Smith and Clive Jones in their Escort. So we're waiting for another courser, this time of Ben Cree and Robert Wiggins. So just checking out the feeds, making sure we're all up to speed on stuff. I'll get the results up now and see if I can get anything from this stage. Dave James, he's been watching down under. Should have been back over with work, but it all went pear-shaped. Mrs. is over here though. Not sure she's a rally fan. That Paul Whittam's banner is getting more and more camouflage as we speak. I think that might need a dusting down between runs. We'll go and tend to that. Andy Corner, bet that's warm there watching from the tractor. It certainly is warm up here, Andy. Yeah, it's a hot one for definite. It's like being in Greece, just without all the flooding and roads falling over and collapsing and disappearing and all the other problems they've had. Luckily we haven't had any of those issues. British weather is behaving itself for once. So continuing to work our way through the field now. Should be Dan Chester and Paul Barber in the E30. Lovely looking car this. Certainly is. Looks fantastic. Every time I see that car I think it's a great looking car. They're chasing down Ben Cree, Robert Wiggins in that Opel Corsa. It came through just before. So next up for us should be Neil James and Siobhan Pugh. We start to make our way towards the top 30. Looking forward to seeing Rory McCann out in the Hillman Avenger this weekend. He was out in a Honda Civic last week on Rally Ceredigion, and he can certainly pedal any car he gets in. Poor little Civic last week had its absolute neck wrung. Great to see. Sure enough, that's Neil and Siobhan in their Mark II. B11 class entrant this weekend. Looks forward to seeing Nigel and Kaz Jenkins back out in their Nova. Not seen those guys for a while, so great to see them pair back out. It's been a while. We see them around, but I haven't seen them in the car for a long time, so it'd be nice to see them back out again. They'll always put on a good show for us. A lime green coloured Nova. I can hear it singing along. Kaz with a hand on the window, keeping that window shut. She must have aircon in that Nova, making sure the aircon's working fully. A quick swig of juice. Next up, the Squires boys, Phil and Mick in their rallying competition equipment, backed Ford Escort. Squires boys are helping run a night rally, road rally up in the Staffordshire Moorlands, near where they're from. There goes Ton, registration number that's been around for a long time. Like I say, they run, helping run the first time. That's the return of the Oaks Trophy stages, run by ERO Motor Club. Great little event. I've been out on on the event many years ago and used to run, then it's had a break of a good while, and fresh team taking over and running the event, and a cracking job they've done too. That's next weekend, based up around the Staffordshire Moorlands and Derbyshire. Ed Wayne, Will Banks, names that you may recognise from the live streams and the coverage that Special Stage bring you. They're all working very hard to ensure that event runs well next weekend. And should be a good event. Steve Magson in the unmistakable Mercedes 190. Now, I have got some photos in the car parked behind me of an event, I think it was the 1984, possibly 1984 Audi Sport Rally, and Steve Magson is in a Mercedes 190, and I don't know whether it's the same car or not. I need to check that out actually. I'll get the footage up and I'll have a look between runs today, and I'll find out it's the same car and he's still driving that same car. But he's he's a variety of cars, as Steve, so it's always nice to see something a little bit different to everything else. And yeah, always a welcome sight, the big Merc 190E. Sam Mason, James Seymour in the Ford Fiesta. Going well, neat and tidy, just what you want. Keeping it pointed in the right direction. Just looking down the entry for our two Griffiths boys. I always look forward to seeing the ST 150 Fiestas that these boys campaign. I can hear the voice of Paul Woodford over my shoulder. We'll have to ban him from this forest. No, you're all right. It's all right. I'm gaining information from your phone. 137. Thought Paul had sneaked up on us then. Andrew Fox, Jamie Lee Fox, still out campaigning the BMW 325. It's been a staple for the Fox family with the BMW and the 205 Challenge all those years ago. Good times had at those events. X-Watch Safety Solutions sponsored car, looking well. Next up, we're looking for Jeff Phelps and Colin Jenkins. In the Hartpury Farms sponsored car, Dave Jenkins Motorsport built Escort. Always immaculate, this car. There's lots of bugs around this forest. I'm sure they're all biting me. Eaten alive. That's the problem with wearing shorts. Rugby's okay to watch, but rallying is better. That's an understatement. Nothing better than being stood out here. Fantastic scenery. Just listen to the noise. As Jeff Phelps throws that Escort through the stages. There's no better sound than a rally car. Full tilt. 10 degrees in New South Wales this evening. We've pinched all your sunshine, that's the problem. You must have sent it all over here, Dave. Sweltering up here. Might be worth a mention that Phil Price would have helped, no doubt, many of these crews to obtain their rally licences. Yeah, I agree. Liam Clark, Tony Edwards in their Ford Fiesta. Yeah. Phil Price, obviously event sponsor for this year's Woodpecker Stages Rally. The rally school just up the road here. And yeah, no doubt a lot of these drivers will have been to the rally school to learn their traits and to get their licences to do these events. So yeah, thank you to Phil for or the Price team for sponsoring the event and giving these guys an opportunity to do something they love. AFW 66K, the Mark 1 Escort belonging to the Stokes rally team, Andrew Stokes and Johnny Tad Evans, Pirelli Welsh Championship crew, dancing that Mark 1 through the stages. One of the highlights of my life, sat in that car with David, taking me around Sweet Lamb. A few years ago now, before he unfortunately passed away. He had a test day down at Sweet Lamb and we had a cracking day, absolutely fantastic day, and what an experience to sit with someone like David and be taken around Sweet Lamb. He drove it like it was a Sunday drive and I was absolutely terrified. the entire route we drove, I was absolutely petrified all the way around, and it was just nothing for him at all, no issues whatsoever, just cruising along, sheer drops everywhere. But, yeah, fantastic experience. Nice to see the car still going and going strong as well with Andrew and Johnny guiding him through the stages. Here at our next competitor on their way to us. And it should be Chris Davies and Remy Thomason in their Escort. Braces Bread sponsored and Developments Plus Limited. Nicely done. Yeah, it's about as far into that ditch as you'd want to be going, really, Chris. Kept his foot in, kept the car powering through the corner. Probably one of the quickest through, I reckon, now. Good to see from Chris. Let's see if I can get some results up and see how things are panning out. Ricky Crone, Ivan Devine. So another crew that happened to be at Anglesey when they had a big moment and stopped in front of us. Somebody else who had a moment at Anglesey and stopped in front of me, so I'm glad nothing happened there. I'd be getting a reputation.
I never crashed.
No, it wasn't your fault, that, definitely. Yeah, it was... crew that had a moment in Anglesey, or certainly Ivan did anyway. He ended up retiring in front of the cameras when I was up there, so it's passed me this time, so it mustn't be my fault. Just a quick look then. So results the end of this stage. So fastest through this stage so far, bear in mind that we haven't had too many cars through. We see Rob Dennis. Sam Mason is the fastest so far, car 138. Tony Thompson, second fastest. Dylan Bowler-Fishop, we saw how quick he was in the little micro. Ben Cree, Phil Squires, Nigel Jenkins, Andrew Fox, Steve Corky-Ward, Chris Bush and Ashley Francis Adams. They top 10 through this stage at the minute. Bear in mind the quickest cars are yet to come, so we will wait with bated breath and see how that unfolds. Cars are now tackling stage 3, which is Hopton. It's a bit of a road section from here over to Hopton Forest, but they're in there now. Just arrived. We've had a first sort of 10 cars or so through, and then they'll be making their way to Hay Park before arriving back at service, lunchtime service, where the crews can have a bite to eat and the mechanics and get to work. Rory McCann then, driving the door handles off the old Hillman Avenger. Like I say, he was in a Honda Civic last weekend and was doing a giant killing performance in that little Honda Civic against some hugely competitive cars. Tony Simpson is due through next. Stefan Arndt. And the beautiful Seacon UK sponsored Fiesta. MRF Tyres, Seacon UK. Service and Sport, James Clay and Sons, all helping Tony out this weekend with sponsorship and giving that crew the chance to compete. Should give a big shout out to Tony. Tony sponsors the Seacon UK Rally show that we put out once a month, rounding up all the British Rally Championship highlights across all formats of the sport. And without him we wouldn't be able to make that show, so a massive thank you to Tony for allowing us to put that show out. It gives a great insight into each event. You get to see footage from events that you won't normally get to see. We have little hidden cameras all over these forests filming for us while we're out live streaming, so we get the opportunity to show things like that off. Told you they're always good to watch, these ST 150s. That was the first of the Griffiths clan. Absolutely on the ragged edge. And that was Liam, car 128. Preston Tyre Services Limited, Lloyd's Construction and Alpha Aggregates. It's always a great battle between Liam and Callum. Kept his foot firmly down. Hello to Charlie Rees. Kai Wennes, sorry, apologies, but greetings from Germany, so hello, welcome along. Joe Jackson, Louis Headley, Kyle Gibbs, all tuning in. This should be the second of the bricks. Spearmint Nova. Dave Brick and Emma Clark. Little story about Dave Brick. He won a round of the 1400 championship. Must have been, must be 10 years ago now. Up on the Carlisle stage or the Pirelli stages up in Kielder, and when he got to the finish of the event, and I went to interview him and chat to him, he climbed out the car and he was wearing 10-pin bowling shoes. You'll know the kind, the red and blue 10-pin bowling shoes, because he found it was a better feel through the pedals, apparently. Yeah, that's 100% true. I was stood there watching when he came in, and he was wearing the shoes to drive the little Nova. So, that might be something that nobody else has ever thought of. Maybe it's going to become a new thing. The Graham family, Ernie and Karen, in the Flexify aircraft hire sponsored Ford Escort RS 1600, one of the best looking cars on the stages this weekend. Lovely family. Great to see those guys out campaigning that car. Quick look through, we've probably got about 20 minutes more of the two-wheel drives. Steve Gregg, just on Wordlin 3, £10, I'll tell you the answer. That's going to go up there as one of the most random comments ever, Steve. Thanks for that. Here's a second of the Griffiths cars. Very committed again, Callum this time, with William Lewis alongside. Brilliant value for money, them pair. Could do with them coming back round again. They're great, the two ST150s. Pedalling it well. Very similar lines taken, and both keeping their right foot planted through this second part of the bend as well, weren't they? Dragging that front end round, keeping it away from the ditch. This should be car 1, 2, 3. Josh Carr, Oshan Owen in the C3 category, Ford Escort Mark 1. Sponsored by Snap-on Tools. Nice sponsor to have. I'm sure they have plenty of reasons to use those tools when they get back to service. Their mechanics and their team will be set up with everything they need. Okay, next up then, Kevin Metcalf, Lucy Guttridge in the BMW E30. Going well. Very standard looking car, that, isn't it? But, you know, nothing fancy in terms of colour schemes or sponsorship, but pedalling it well. Really well, in fact. Starting just outside the top 20 in the two-wheel drive class. And that's fantastic going when you see some of the crews to come shortly as we move into that top 20 now. Max Utting and Brad Badley will be starting things off with the ST Max, another ST. You don't see one for weeks, and all of a sudden there's three at once. Great to see. Now we turn our attentions to Will Onions and Dave Williams in their Ford Escort RS. Will out last weekend on Rally Ceredigion. Pedalled his tarmac spec car very well through the stages last week as well. So it wasn't Mr. Onions. However, it was Ewan Roberts Jr. with Daniel Jones in that iconic G3 Ford Escort, sponsored by Roberts of Festiniog. Never ever fails to impress in that car. Something a little bit different. You don't tend to see too many of them on the stages, although there was a very similar looking one last week on the tarmac up at Ceredigion, or down at Ceredigion I should say from here. But yeah, Ewan always pedals that car to the forest in fantastic form, so yeah, great to see. Speaking of drivers who can pedal a car, Andy Davison, Tom Murphy should be up next unless Mr. Onions has sneaked in. That is the VXR powered Sunbeam of Andy Davison and Tom Murphy then. StayYorkshire.co.uk and the RES Teesdale Scaffold Limited sponsored car. Managed to get every ounce of potential out of that car then, Pep. The road in the top now up by the Pirelli banner. As the cars go into view, you can see excuse me, it's about twice as wide as it was when we first started. Interesting to see what the back end of this stage looks like now that these cars are clearing things away, changing the road surface. They've got a section of about a mile or so towards the end of this stage, which is very green, let's say. It was poor surface conditions, really. Yeah, these guys will have cleared a lot of that away now, so be interested to see how those guys are getting on and what the stage is like. So the Abbey House Hotel sponsored Opal Adam of Robert Proudlock and Stephen Brown. Coming into view with plenty of throttle on, dust everywhere, great to see. Powered through another very quick crew there. Just cocking a front wheel as they powered their way through the right-hander. Car 115, Mike Brown Jr. and Aled Davies in the M3 Compact. Wide arch looking BMW, sponsored by mymidwife.uk. A little bit steadier through here, but nothing wrong with that. Richard Howells has commented on the live stream saying, I saw Dave Brick do the dit and dump rally in a pair of wellies. Top bloke. That does not surprise me in the slightest. Probably just testing them out to find out what the feel is in those wellies. Maybe he decided that wellies weren't the right option and he went to bowling shoes. But, yeah, it was quite a shock when I saw him climb out the car when he had those on his feet. The stunning Mark II Escort of Richard Goff and Jez Rogers. You can see Rothmans on the front of that car, and you won't see that very often because you're not allowed to have sponsorship like that down those cars unless the car is an original works car. That might give you an idea of the history of that particular vehicle. Next up, James Lepley, Simon Jones in their similar Ford Escort. So, almost breaking into the top 10 now. We're turning our attentions to Boyd Kershaw. The Kiwis will be happy. You're watching down in Wellington. Your boy's about to come through, Boyd Kershaw. Keegan Rees alongside. Took a year or so out from the sport, but has come back and found his feet immediately back in this Pirelli Welsh Championship. Always a cracking competitor. Always one to watch. The Flying Kiwi Rally Team. Looking good. A few more people joining the stream now. Fergal Kelly, Ben Gilbert's back, Richard Rudge and Andy Murphy's watching too. Welcome along, everybody. Got all of those Rothmans colours. You certainly have. I mean, coming into shot there, I'm pretty sure I've got a book at home with Vatanen driving that car. Might not be that exact car, but certainly that looking car. Possibly somewhere like Portugal or Greece or somewhere like that in the World Championship. And the car was coming into it in a very similar stance. Sideways into view, all the dust kicking up behind it. It could be anywhere in the world in conditions like this. Gareth James, Stefan Evans, and the Blue Sky Engineering Escort. Car 111. So, top 10 two-wheel drives are coming your way now, starting off with Ben Friend and Cliffy Simmons in the all-glass Anglia-sponsored Mark II Escort. Previous historic champion. Just to prove me wrong, that was Richard Jordan and James Grattan Smith. So we have a Ben Friend and a Cliffy Simmons missing at the minute, but don't worry, don't panic. It might just be that they're running slightly out of order. It was the All Roads Asphalt Solutions car prep car of Richard Jordan and James Grattan Smith. Thank you to everyone who's joining us now on the stream as we head towards our top 10 or into the top 10 of our two-wheel drive competitors. These are some of the best two-wheel drive and historic drivers in the country. Doing battle on gravel. Will Onions. We thought he disappeared from our leaderboard earlier, but he's still here. It's good to see. Running around about 10 cars out of sequence, but not a problem. Like I say, he could have dropped some time on the road section. Might have had a puncture, but you get lateness on the road, so you can sort out little niggles between the stages and then get yourself prepared, ready for the next stage, and you don't lose any time on the actual event itself. Just running slightly out of order. Tommy Walster, Glyn Thomas Pedalling there, Escort hard. Car 107. Just running slightly wider than the last few cars on this flick right. Neil's mentioning that the YouTube stream seems to have disappeared. Anybody else experiencing this? Can anyone just confirm that for me? I can't quite see our modem and router at the minute. It's all covered by umbrella and shade to try and keep everything cool whilst we're out here in the sticks, burning away. I've sacrificed my good looks to an umbrella and all the internet equipment. Try and keep that as cool as possible this weekend. That might be the issue. If it's not raining, it's too hot. You can't believe it, can you? Adrian Hetherington, Ronan O'Neill, Irish crew in their RS 1800. Just easing off on the corner here. Didn't want to run into that ditch too far. Is that YouTube? Okay, looks like it's okay at the minute. So we've got around about 5 cars to come now. But Robert Goff and Paul Morris in their Ford Escort Mark II. Paul, as well as guiding Robert round the stages in the immaculate Mark II Escort. He's also been working tirelessly on the Pro Tyre Championship this year as well. Him and Donna and Mr. Wakely have done a fantastic job of doing that event, that championship, and it's been a pleasure being a part of that with the special stage team throughout the year. So it's nice trying to have a little bit of downtime and to forget the Tarmac Championship and concentrate on the Pirelli Welsh Championship this weekend. Matthew Robinson is watching. Welcome along, Matthew. When are we going to see you back out again? It's been a while. I need to get you back in that Escort and see you out on the stages again. Fantastic competitor from Yorkshire. We saw Mr. Collis was on the chat earlier as well, so it's both the team in the chat now. What a sight that is. Nick Elliott, Dave Price, 131 Arbath. One of the best looking cars out on the stages this weekend. Always great to see. Stunning looking car. Just watching it back on the live stream now. It's dancing into view. Look at that. Beautiful. Flicking it one way to the other. So, we're waiting now for Joe Price, Roger Chilman, and then George Lepley to come through. And Robert Goff as well, we need. Robert should have been through. There's a bit of a gap there. Hopefully Robert's still going with Paul Morris. This is Joe Price. Trying very hard. Excuse me, trying very hard indeed. So I will I'll just tell you now, we've got a couple more cars to come. I'll keep hanging around, and then there's going to be a pause in proceedings while we wait for the four-wheel drive. So as soon as we've had our last two-wheel drive competitor, we will be cutting the stream. Please don't go anywhere or don't go too far. Get yourself a cup of tea if you're at home, or I don't know, put a bit more ice in the paddling pool or whatever you're up to. Just cool yourselves off and get ready for our second live stream of the day for the Pirelli Welsh Championship. We'll be bringing you all the action from the four-wheel drive section of the event as well, before we have our lunch break ready for the second half of today's competition. Roger Chilman with Patrick Walsh alongside. not quite as committed as Joe Price and Chris Brooks in the previous bright orange coloured Escort, but going well. Haywood Crushing Demolition, Securcom, Conops, Danfords, Evans Cleaning and Wales Motorsport sponsored car. Now, I'm not so sure whether we're going to have a little gap here or we're going to have the next competitor straight through, but we're expecting George Lepley, I think, next. Let's have a little look on the times. It says he starts 1 minute after the last car, so any moment now we should have a VR4 Galant come into view. This is going to be special because I've not seen one of these being pedalled properly for a long time, so this is going to be great to see. George and Dale Bowen trying this car out for I think it's one of the first cars to compete in this category, the F3 category, so yes, it might be running on its own at the minute, but this is going to be some spectacular sight as it comes into view, hopefully any time now. And hopefully this little category will go from strength to strength over the coming years. Dave James casting from phone to TV. Gotta love technology. It's the way to do it. Yeah. You can imagine, just for you guys to watch a bit of television at home, it's gone from a camera, through a satellite, up into space, back down through a phone, through a modem, off to wherever you are in the world. Fantastic to see, look at that. That's the 90s right there. So, thank you very much for joining us on this first stream of the day. That concludes our